All right, I should probably probably make sure that I got my. There we go. Ah. All right. So for today, I think what I'm gonna do is first I should probably do my luxivations now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, that should work. The old bog standard sinking team. Also, as a aside, we ended up managing to hit, what was it? I think technically we've hit 15 followers, so that's pretty cool. But when I look at my analytics, it was only 13. But we're still gonna say that we did it. Yay! I probably whipped something together up on the Twitter maybe, and now we're gonna. Yeah, we're just gonna gnaw through this, and then I'll probably do like a chapter of Don Quixote per floor in the mirror dungeon. Possibly. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Also, sorry that I was a little late. I had to deal with some more internet problems. But they should be solved, so hopefully the stream will be nice and stable. Let's see here. How was my evening? Well, I ended up playing a little bit of Mage the Ascension for the first time last night, and I gotta say it was pretty fun. It was actually really fun. It was. Oh, let's see here. What was it? I really like how kind of free form the magic is, because you're like, okay, what do you want to do? Well, you've got, I think it's like, well, there's 9 spheres, right? Ranging from like, oh, here's the sphere about magic, compared to here's the sphere about life or distance or time or controlling the forces of entropy, because it's all a big circle, right? Except apparently there's also like a big secret 10th sphere somewhere, but nobody's really figured that one out. Or if they have, then nobody's going to be saying that they did. But so I ended up having one that specialized in time and I think it was entropy. Now, granted is that entropy is also things like twisting fate or altering probability. No, once you get big enough, you could be like, nah, I'm just gonna make it so that your bones like disintegrate or whatever. Which I thought was pretty cool, but I also dug the time thing. And also how you need to have, what is it? You've got instruments or foci that you use to do your magics. Because basically you're fighting the consensus of reality when you're doing your magics. So things like happy coincidences work pretty well. Like, oh, well, if I shot this thing of propane, it's very natural that it would explode, right? Oh, that reminds me, I should probably figure out what I want to do for... Maybe burn? Burn feels nice. Burn feels like it'll be a good change of pace. Now, who here has a bunch of coin? I guess technically charge would also work, but you know what? You know what? This might just be a pile. Yeah, we'll take you. And oh, do I not have? Oh, I don't have. Hold on. Give me just a second. Just gonna make you. I must feed my Rogia these tickets so that she grows big and strong. Oh. Perfect. I like Rogia. I think she's one of my personal favorites for sitters. Alright, let's see here. And then I guess Inclair. Yeah, he works. Otis? Probably not. I might just take, Yeah, this should be fine. Do I really only have... Did I take? I guess I did. Oh. Okay, so let me see here. Backbone of the team would probably be Ish, you. Yeah, we'll take those three. Yeah, looks alright for me. But let's see here. Yeah, it was a fun time. Basically, we were doing fixing horse races. So that was a fun time. Very interesting to... Except I managed to win without any cheats, right? But the thing that I did do was... What was it? After I had managed to win the race, I may or may not have rigged it so that the superfecta... Is that what they call it? Yeah, so that the superfecta was in fact in my favor. So that was fun. It was a fun time. Yeah. Yeah, looks alright to me. But let's see here. What else did I do? No, that was about it. Yeah, granted, not as many of us showed up for the session as I would have enjoyed, but we had fun. Jesus, that's 50s. All right, hello 56 burn out of nowhere. Oh right, it's probably because I got Hellfly's Dream. Works for me. I love burn. Especially because now the problem has been solved already. Oh no. Well, golly. Alright, go get him, donkey. Yeah, I love Rogia. I just like the Leo Association. Because I like the martial arts. It's so simple, but elegant. That's what I'm gonna say. I also was having some interesting discussions, because for context, is the mage, the Ascension, it takes place in the world of darkness, right? Please, yes. So basically, you've got like, oh, let me see here. You got your vampires, you got your werewolves, you got your fairy people, you got ghosts, you got wizards, you got hunters, who are the wizards and the hunters are just regular Joes, usually with an edge. Mages can, of course, do magic and are usually a fair bit more dangerous than a hunter. Because a powerful enough mage, well, not even a very powerful bit, like a fresh mage could still be like, I might not be able to do my magic without my parlor tricks. However, I can still take out this lighter and, what's the word? Cause a man to burst into flames. Or something like, I don't know, I'm gonna push this hand on my watch and turn back time, or I'm going to stop the second hand and completely stop time. Or something like that. Compared to like the higher octane mages, where it's just like, I have unhinged myself from the time stream, and I'm going to go somewhere else. But of course, futzing with time, you can end up drawing the ire of some rather interesting entities that don't take too kindly to time being futzed with. Granted, it's mostly for like major events or whatever. So you can be like, just turn it back like 12 seconds so that I don't get, you know. Come on. Aww. Good play show. Compared to hunters, which are like, I've been informed that there might be some messed up stuff out there that I now have to deal with. So then they kind of turn into Van Helsing adjacents or whatever. And they're pretty cool, I think. Let's see. Yeah, that works. Yeah, we're just gonna upgrade Fiery down and Helterflies? I guess it's Helterflies. Whoops. And then... yeah. Combat start. Yeah, that works for me. Alright, and then maybe just one more. Yeah. Maybe just one more. Alright, and then we'll go over here. And we'll charge. So granted is that once you, like with mages, just because their whole shtick is, you know, altering the foundations of reality, you're like, okay, can a mage become a werewolf? No, because werewolves are born in the world of darkness rather than, I shouldn't say rather than created. Like, you could still make a werewolf, but they're not going to be the same thing. Conversely, with Changeling, where they can, in fact, as I recall, turn people into werewolves, or turn werewolves into things like, you know, an 8x10 glossy of a horse. Excellent work, Sinclair. Excellent work, Faust. I'm also very excited for the murder on the Warp Express, because I loved those characters back in the Library of Ruin, and I hope we get to see them again, just like how we got to see you know, the Molar office and Kim, but just Kim, because there wasn't anybody else that was named, at least not in the Library of Ruin. I thought Ongdu was pretty cool. Same thing with Jin. Jin, yes. I wasn't gonna take my blue Zippo lighter because I'm an easily amused critter. Take a random tier 2 ego, thank you. What is the color of the electric sheep you see? We'll go for the unloving. Oh, right. Yes. And now it's time to read a quick chapter of Don Quixote. So let me change the scene real quick. I'll still keep the background music going, but Chapter 2, which treats of the first sally of the ingenious Don Quixote made from home. These preliminaries settled, he did not care put off any longer the execution of his design, urged on to it by the thought of all the world was losing by his delay, seeing what wrongs he intended to right, grievances to redress, injustices to repair, abuses to remove, and duties to discharge. So, without giving notice of his intention to anyone, and without anybody seeing him, one morning before the dawning of the day, which was one of the hottest of the month of July, he donned his suit of armor, mounted Rocinante with his patched up helmet on, braced his buckler, took his lance, and by the back door of the yard, sallied forth upon the plain in the highest contentment and satisfaction at seeing with what ease he had made a beginning with his grand purpose. But scarcely did he find himself upon the open plain when a terrible thought struck him. one all but enough to make him abandon the enterprise at the very outset. It occurred to him that he had not been dubbed a knight, and that according to the law of chivalry he neither could nor ought to bear arms against any knight, and that even if he had been, he still ought, as a novice knight, to wear white armor, without a device upon the shield until by his prowess he had earned one. These reflections made him waver in his purpose, but his craze being stronger than any reasoning, he made up his mind to have himself dubbed a knight by the first one he came across, following the example of others in the same case, as he had read in the books that brought him to this pass. As for white armor, he resolved on the first opportunity to scour his until it was whiter than an ermine, and so comforting himself, he pursued his way, taking that which his horse chose, and for in this he believed lay the essence of adventures. Thus setting out, our new-fledged adventurer paced along, talking to himself and saying, "Who knows but that in time to come, when the veracious history of my famous deeds is made known, the sage who writes it, when he has to set forth my first sally in the early morning, will do it after this fashion. Scarce had the Rubicund? We'll go with Rubicund. Scarce had the Rubicund, or maybe Rubicund? Now we'll go with Rubicund? That sounds better. Rubicund Apollo spread o'er the face of the broad spacious earth the golden threads of his bright hair. Scarce had the little birds of painted plumage attuned their notes to hail with dulcet and mellifluous tone, and mellifluous harmony the coming of the rosy dawn, that, deserting the soft couch of her jealous spouse, was appearing to mortals at the gates and balconies of the Manchegan horizon, when the renowned knight Don Quixote of La Mancha, quitting the lazy down, mounted his celebrated steed Rocinante, and began to traverse the ancient and famous Campo de Montiel, which in fact he was actually traversing. "Happy the age, happy the time," he continued, "in which shall be made known my deeds of fame, worthy to be molded in brass, carved in marble, limned in pictures, for a memorial forever. And thou, O sage magician, whoever thou art, to whom it shall fall to be the chronicler of this wondrous history, forget not, I entreat thee, my good Rocinante, the constant companion of my ways and wanderings." Presently he broke out again, as if he were love-stricken in earnest. "O Princess Dulcinea, lady of this captive heart, a grievous wrong hast thou done to me, to drive me forth with scorn, and with inexorable obduracy, banish me from the presence of thy beauty. O lady, deign to hold in remembrance this heart, thy vassal, that thus in anguish pines for love of thee." So he went on stringing together these and other absurdities, all in the style of those his books had taught him, imitating their language as well as he could. And all the while he rode so slowly, and the sun mounted so rapidly, and with such fervor, that it was enough to melt his brains if he had any. Nearly all day he traveled without anything remarkable happening to him, at which he was in despair, for he was anxious to encounter someone at once upon whom to try the might of his strong arm. Writers there are who say the first adventure he met was with that of Puerto Lapis. Others say that it was that of the windmills. But what I have ascertained on this point, and what I have found written in the annals of La Mancha, is that he was on the road all day, and towards nightfall his hack, and he found themselves dead tired and hungry, when, looking all around to see if he could discover any castle or shepherd's shanty where he might refresh himself and relieve his sore wants, he perceived not far out of his road an inn, which was as welcome as a star guiding him to the portals, if not the palaces of his redemption, and quickening his pace he reached it just as night was setting in. At the door were standing two young women, girls of the district as they call them, on their way to Seville, with some carriers who had chanced to halt that night at the inn, and, as happen what might to our adventurer, everything he saw or imagined seemed to him to be and to happen after the fashion of what he read of. The moment he saw the inn, he pictured it to himself as a castle, with its 4 turrets and pinnacles of shining silver, not forgetting the drawbridge and moat and all the belongings usually ascribed to castles of the sort. To this inn, which to him seemed a castle, he advanced, and at a short distance from it he checked Rocinante, hoping that some dwarf would show himself upon the battlements, and by sound of trumpet give notice that a knight was approaching the castle. But seeing as they were slow about it, and that Rocinante was in a hurry to reach the stable, he made for the inn door, and perceived the 2 gay damsels who were standing there, and who seemed to him to be 2 fair maidens or lovely ladies, taking their ease at the castle gate. At this moment it so happened that a swineherd who was going through the stubbles collecting a drove of pigs, for without any apology that is what they are called, gave a blast of his horn to bring them together, and forthwith it seemed to Don Quixote to be what he was expecting, the signal of some dwarf announcing his arrival. And so, with prodigious satisfaction, he rode up to the inn and to the ladies, who, seeing a man of this sort approaching in full armor, and with lance and buckler, were turning in dismay into the inn, when Don Quixote, guessing their fear by their flight, raising his pasteboard visor, disclosed his dry, dusty visage, and with courteous bearing and gentle voice addressed them. Your ladyships need not fly nor fear any rudeness, for that it belongs not to the order of knighthood which I profess to offer to anyone, much less to high-born maidens, as your appearance proclaims you to be. The girls were looking at him and straining their eyes to make out the features which the clumsy visor obscured, but when they heard themselves called maidens, a thing so much out of their line, they could not restrain their laughter, which made Don Quixote wax indignant, and say modesty becomes the fair, and moreover laughter that has little cause is great silliness this. However, I say not to pain or anger you, for my desire is none other than to serve you. The incomprehensible language and the unpromising looks of our cavalier only increased the lady's laughter, and that increased his irritation, and matters might have gone farther if at that moment the landlord had not come out, who, being a very fat man, was a very peaceful one. He, seeing this grotesque figure clad in armor that did not match any more than his saddle, bridle, lance, buckler, or corslet, was not at all indisposed to join the damsels in their manifestations of amusement, but in truth, standing in awe of such a complicated armament, he thought it best to speak him fairly. So he said, Signor Caballero, if your worship wants lodging, bating the bed, for there is not one in the inn, there is plenty of everything else here. Don Quixote observing the respectful bearing of the alcaide, alcaide? I will go with alcaide. The alcaide of the fortress, for so innkeeper and inn seemed in his eyes, made answer, Sir Castellan, for me anything will suffice, for my armor is my only wear, my only rest the fray. The host fancied he called him a Castellan because he took him for a worthy of Castile, though he was in fact an Andalusian, and one from the strand of San Lucar, as crafty a thief as Caucus, and as full of tricks as a student or a page. In that case, he said, your bed is on the Your bed is on the flinty rock, your sleep to watch all way. And if so, you may dismount and safely reckon upon any quantity. You may dismount and safely reckon upon any quantity of sleeplessness under this roof for a 12-month, not to say for a single night. So saying, he advanced to hold the stirrup of Don Quixote, who got down with great difficulty and exertion, for he had not broken his fast all day. Then and then charged the host to great care of his horse, as he was the best bit of flesh that ever ate bread in his world. In this world, excuse me. The landlord eyed him over, but did not find him as good as Don Quixote said, nor even half as good, and putting him up in the stable, he returned to see what might be wanted by his guest, whom the damsels, who had by this time made their peace with him, were now relieving of his armor. They had taken off his breastplate and back piece, but they neither knew nor saw how to open his gorget or remove his makeshift helmet, for he had fastened it with green ribbon, which, as there was no untying the knots, required to be cut. This, however, he would not by any means consent to, so he remained all the evening with his helmet on, the drollest and oddest figure that can be imagined, and while they were removing his armor, taking the baggages who were about it for ladies of high degree belonging to the castle, he said to them with great sprightliness, "Oh, never surely was there knight who served by hand of dame, as served was he, Don Quixote hight, when from his town he came, with maidens waiting on himself, princesses on his hack, or Rocinante for that, ladies mine, is my horse's name, and Don Quixote of La Mancha is my own. For though I had no intention of declaring myself until my achievements in your service and honor had made me known, the necessity of adapting that old ballad of Lancelot to the present occasion has given you the knowledge of my name altogether prematurely. A time, however, will come for your ladyships to command and me to obey, and then the might of my arm will show my desire to serve you." The girls, who were not used to hearing rhetoric of this sort, had nothing to say in reply. They only asked him if he wanted something to eat. "I would gladly eat a bit of something," said Don Quixote, "for I feel it would come very seasonably." The day happened to be a Friday, and in the whole inn there was nothing but some pieces of fish they call in Castile abadejo, in Andalusian bacalao, or bacalao, and in some places corradillo, and in others troutlet. So they asked him if he thought he could eat troutlet, for there was no other fish to give him. "If there be troutlets enough," said Don Quixote, "they will be the same thing as a trout." "For it is all one to me whether I am given 8 reals in small change, or a piece of reals. Moreover, it may be that these troutlets are like veal, which is better than beef, or kid, which is better than goat. But whatever it be, let it come quickly, for the burden and pressure of arms cannot be borne without support to the inside." They laid a table for him at the door of the inn for the sake of the air, and the host brought him a portion of ill-soaked and much worse cooked stockfish, and a piece of bread as black and moldy as his own armor. But a laughable sight it was to see him eating, for having his helmet on and the beaver up, he could not with his own hands put anything into his mouth unless someone placed it in there, and this service one of the ladies rendered him. But to give him anything to drink was impossible, or would have been, so had not the landlord borne a reed, and putting one end in his mouth, poured the wine into him through the other, all which he bore with patience, rather than sever the ribbons of his helmet. While this was going on, there came up to the inn a sowgelder, who, as he approached, sounded his reed pipe 4 or 5 times, and thereby completely convinced Don Quixote that he was in some famous castle, and that they were regaling him with music, and that the stockfish was trout, the bread the whitest, the wenches ladies, and the landlord the castellan of the castle, and consequently he held that his enterprise and sally had been to some purpose. But still it distressed him to think that he had not been dubbed a knight, for it was plain to him he could not lawfully engage in any adventure without receiving the order of knighthood. Amazing. Alright, now we can do the other. Now we'll do the next floor. Ooh, I'll take Burning Intellect. Thank you. And we'll take this. I don't know what this is. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna sample the green substance. Thank you. We'll have Donkey handle this. I am very, very excited for Kanto 7. Sorry, I got some pins and needles. Oh no, not a bunch of slaves. Thanks, win rate. Let's see here. What else am I? But yeah, I'll say I did think that Mage was a very fun time. I think it's quite an interesting system, and I am very excited to see. Oh, great work, Sinclair. Yes, excellent. Don't throw ice at Donkey. That's illegal. This is illegal, you know. Okay, well, the rest of them are all gonna perish in the next turn anyhow, so. Excellent, yes. Perfect. Man, hard to believe that it's already been, what, like 2 weeks since the Refraction Railway came out? Approach them. Give me the thing. Thank you for the great coat. Alright. Now we get to fight the Baba Yaga. And by fight the Baba Yaga, I mean run. Run from the Baba Yaga and deal with her Baba Yagis. Yeah.
이 방식을 기억하는 게 좋겠어. 이럴 때는 이런 한눈에 봤을 때는 대충대충해 보이긴 하지만 결국은 나쁘진 않아 볼 거야. 뭐든지 하나씩 줄여가면서 시작하는 거지.
술병을 하나씩만 비우면 참 좋을
Oh. Oh no, I don't have blind obsession of crit. Oops. Oh, that's not good. I'm gonna have to rectify that. Don't throw ice. Perfect.
약점을 잘 찌른 것 같네요.
Alright, so we'll just put like yeah, we can have you handle that, Sinclair. I'm sure you'll be fine. Okay, and then we're gonna hope that this one is yeah. Easy breezy. Come on. There we go. Yeah, that's a hoopsie daisies, eh?
누님도 술병을 하나씩만 비우면
I mean, at least I have Ardor Blossom Star, which is I mean, yeah, it should be fine. And maybe I'll just make use of Isang's ego. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a good week. I'm probably gonna finish Buntika on. Oh, what did I say? On Sunday? I think that's. I think it's what I posted. Yeah, that sounds about right. And I think I was gonna play Fight Night, which I think is a pretty... It's Fight Night with a K, thank you. As in like a noble knight. I can't believe I'm arguing with my closed captioning software. You know, like Don Quixote, the Knight of La Mancha. Oh, good lord. Like the Knights of the Round Table. Okay, yeah, that one works. I swear.
다시 못 살게 구는 일은 없을 것이오.
아, 완전 과감한 판단이었어요.
중계하듯이 말하지 좀.
I'm also, I'm eager to see what the next, Purgaschnacht is going to bring. I hope that it's,
대체가 약화되는 것 같습니다.
I guess it's gonna be another, LobCorp thingamahooza, since we already got, Phil Clare.
조금만 더 해보죠.
Which I think will be fine. And then I'll finally be able to get, Philip Sinclair. Because I didn't get him last time. Run away! Run for your lives! Also, I did get the Inca achievements because there wasn't really like a lot left. It was mostly just waiting out the timer. Mostly just speed 5. The only interesting thing was that France had flipped to revolutionary and then attacked me. And I was like, that's not cool. That's a little, like, cringe, as the children say. What is this? Punctured memory. Fascinating. Let's just go down this road. And then I'll go and slap, lineups. Team. Add a new identity or ego to the current team. Okay, so we're just gonna... Yes, we've confirmed that it's... Oh, right. Yeah, we'll just put that there. And then, anyone else? Is anyone else missing things? Yes, you're missing a hee-hee. There's a slap dimension shredder on there. And then, oh, I don't know, Faust, do you have anything that needs... Yeah, you got a wow. 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 Wow, 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 wow. Okay, and then I think I can fuse these two together, I want to say. Yeah, there we go. Soothe the dead. Oh. And then can I enhance it? No. Which means that it's already at its peak, which is good. Alright, I should probably read another chapter of Don Quixote like I said I was gonna. Let me just change the scene again real quick. Ahem. How many pages is this? Okay, that's not too bad. Chapter 3, wherein is related the droll way in which Don Quixote had himself dubbed a knight. Harassed by this reflection, he made haste with his scanty pothouse supper, and having finished it, called the landlord, and shutting himself into the stable with him, fell on his knees before him, saying, "From this spot I rise not, valiant knight, until your courtesy grants me the boon I seek, one that will redound to your praise and the benefit of the human race." The landlord, seeing his guest at his feet and hearing a speech of this kind, stood staring at him in bewilderment, not knowing what to do or say, and entreating him to rise, but all to no purpose, until he had agreed to grant the boon demanded of him. "I looked for no less, my lord, from your high magnificence," replied Don Quixote, and I have to tell you that the boon I have asked and your liberality has granted is that you shall dub me knight tomorrow morning, and that tonight I shall watch my arms in the chapel of this your castle, and thus tomorrow, as I have said, will be accomplished what I so much desire, enabling me lawfully to roam through all the four corners of the world, seeking adventures on behalf of those in distress, as is the duty of chivalry and of knights errant like myself, whose ambition is directed to such deeds. The landlord, who, as has been mentioned, was something of a wag, and had already some suspicion of his guest's want of wits, was convinced of it on hearing talk of this kind from him, and to make sport of the knight he determined to fall in with his humor. So he told him he was quite right in pursuing the object he had in view, and that such a motive was natural and becoming in cavaliers as distinguished as he seemed and his gallant bearing showed him to be, and that he himself in his younger days had followed the same honorable calling, roaming in quest of adventures in various parts of the world, among others the curing grounds of Malaga, the Isles of Riaran, the precinct of Seville, and the little market of Segovia, the Oliveira of Valencia, the Rodilla of Granada, the Strand of Sanlúcar, the Colt of Cordova, the taverns of Toledo, and divers other quarters, where he had proved the nimbleness of his feet and the lightness of his fingers, doing many wrongs, cheating many widows, ruining maids, and swindling minors, and in short, bringing himself under the notice of almost every tribunal and court of justice in Spain, until at last he had retired to this castle of his, where he was living upon his property and upon that of others, and where he received all knights errant of whatever rank or condition they might be, all for the great love he bore them, and that they might share their substance with him in return for his benevolence. He told him, moreover, that in this castle of his there was no chapel in which he could watch his armor, as it had been pulled down in order to be rebuilt, but that in a case of necessity it might, he knew, be watched anywhere, and he might watch it that night in a courtyard of the castle, and in the morning, God willing, the requisite ceremonies might be performed, so as to have him dubbed a knight, and so thoroughly dubbed that nobody could be more so. He asked if he had any money with him, to which Don Quixote replied he had not a farthing, as in the histories of knights errant he had never read of any of them carrying any. On this point the landlord told him he was mistaken, for though not recorded in the histories, because in the author's opinion there was no need to mention anything so obvious and necessary as money and clean shirts. Oh no, I've lost my place. It was not to be supposed, therefore, that they did not carry them, and he might regard it as certain and established that all knights errant, about whom there were so many full and unimpeachable books, carried well-furnished purses in case of emergency, and likewise carried shirts and a little box of ointment to cure the wounds they received. For in those plains and deserts where they engaged in combat and came out wounded, it was not always that there was someone to cure them, unless indeed they had for a friend some sage magician to succor them at once by fetching through the air upon a cloud some damsel or dwarf with a vial of water of such virtue that by tasting one drop of it they were cured of their hurts and wounds in an instant, and left as sound as if they had not received any damage whatever. But in case this should occur, the knights of old took care to see that their squires were provided with money and other requisites, such as lint and ointments for healing purposes. When it happened that knights had no squires, which was rarely and seldom the case, they themselves carried everything in cunning saddle bags that were hardly seen on the horse's croup, as if it were something else of more importance, because, unless for some such reason, carrying saddlebags was not very favorably regarded among knights errant. He therefore advised him, and, as his godson so soon to be, he might even command him, never from that time forth to travel without money and the usual requirements, and he would find the advantage of them when he least expected it. Don Quixote promised to follow his advice scrupulously, and it was arranged forthwith that he should watch his armor in a large yard at one side of the inn. So, collecting it all together, Don Quixote placed it in a trough that stood by the side of a well, and bracing his buckler on his arm, grasped his lance and began with a stately air to march up and down in front of the trough. And as he began his march, night began to fall. The landlord told all the people who were in the inn about the craze of his guest and watching of the the watching of the armor and the dubbing ceremony he contemplated. Full of wonder at so strange a form of madness, they flocked to see it from a distance, and observed with what composure he sometimes paced up and down, or sometimes, leaning on his lance, gazed on his armor without taking his eyes off it for ever so long. And as the night closed in, with a light from the moon so brilliant that it might be that it might vie with his that lent it, I see. Everything the novice knight did was plainly seen by all. But again, I'm gonna go grab some water real quick, because I think I left my water bottle outside. I'll be right back. Let me put on my intermission sign. Go get some snacks. Perhaps a carbonated soda. Okay, I'm back. I don't know where my water bottle is, so I've got a little cup. That's nice. I just here. Okie dokie. Meanwhile, one of the carriers who were in the inn thought fit to water his team, and it was necessary to remove Don Quixote's armor as it lay on the trough. But he, seeing the other approach, hailed him in a loud voice, "O thou, whoever thou art, rash knight who has comest to lay hands on the armor of the most valorous errant that has ever grit on sword, have a care that thou dost touch it not unless thou wouldst lay down thy life as the penalty of thy rashness." The carrier gave no heed to these words, and he would have done better to heed them if he had been heedful of his health. But seizing it by the straps, flung the armor some distance from him. Seeing this, Don Quixote raised his eyes to heaven, and fixing his thoughts, apparently, upon Lady Dulcinea, exclaimed, "Aid me, lady mine, in this the first encounter that presents itself to this breast, which thou holdest in subjection. Let not thy favor and protection fail me in this first jeopardy." And with these words and others to the same purpose, dropping his buckler, he lifted his lance with both hands, and with it smote such a blow on the carrier's head that he stretched him on the ground, so stunned that he had followed it up with a second there would have been no need of a surgeon to cure him. Oh dear.
What? What are you doing? This is mine.
This done, he picked up his armor and returned to his beat with the same serenity as before. So let me just make sure here. Let me just make sure here. Okay, yeah, no, he just knocked him out, I think. Shortly after this, another, not knowing what had happened, for the carrier still lay senseless, came with the same object of giving water to his mules, and was proceeding to remove the armor in order to clear the trough, when Don Quixote, without uttering a word or imploring aid from anyone, once more dropped his buckler and once more lifted his lance, and without actually breaking the second carrier's head into pieces, made more than 3 of it, before he laid it open in 4. At the noise, all the people of the inn ran to the spot, and among them the landlord, seeing Don Quixote, braced his buckler on his arm, and with his hand on his sword, explained, "O Lady of Beauty, strength and support of my faint heart, it is time for thee to turn thy eyes of thy greatness on this thy captive knight on the brink of so mighty an adventure." By this he felt himself so inspired that he would not have flinched if all the carriers in the world had assailed him. The comrades of the wounded, perceiving the plight they were in, began from a distance to shower stones on Don Quixote, who screened himself as best as he could with his buckler, not daring to quit the trough and leave his armor unprotected. The landlord shouted to them to leave him alone, for he had already told them that he was mad, and as a madman he would not be accountable even if he killed them all. Still louder shouted Don Quixote, calling them knaves and traitors, and the lord of the castle who allowed knights errant to be treated in this fashion, a villain and a low-born knight, whom he had received the order of knighthood, he would call to account for his treachery. But of you, he cried, base and vile rabble, I make no account. Fling, strike, come on, do all ye can against me. Ye shall see that the reward of your folly and insolence will be. Come here. This he uttered with so much spirit and boldness that he filled his assailants with a terrible fear, and as much for this reason as at the persuasion of the landlord they left off stoning him. There we go. Come here. Don't rub on the microphone stand. That's not cool. And he allowed them to carry off the wounded, and with the same calmness and composure as before, he resumed the Pepe, come here. I swear, you are such a gremlin. What do you want?
Why are you doing that? Come here.
Whatever. Okay, there we go. And he allowed them to carry off the wounded, and with the same calmness and composure as before, resumed the watch over his armor. But these freaks of his guest were not much to the liking of the landlord, and so he determined to cut matters short and confer upon him at once the unlucky order of knighthood before any further misadventure could occur. So, going up to him, he apologized for the rudeness which, without his knowledge, had been offered to him by these low people, who, however, had well been punished for their audacity, as he had already told him. He said there was no chapel in the castle, nor was it needed for what remained to be done. For as he understood the ceremonial of the order, and the whole point of being dubbed a knight lay in the accolade and in the slap of the shoulder, and that could be administered in the middle of a field, and that he had now done all that was needful as to watching the armor. For all requirements were satisfied by a watch of 2 hours only. While he had been more than 4 about it, Don Quixote believed it all, and told him he stood there ready to obey him, and to make an end of it with as much dispatch as possible. For if he were again attacked, and felt himself to be dubbed a knight, he would not, he thought, leave a soul alive in the castle, except such as out of respect he might spare at his bidding. Thus warned and menaced, the Castellan forthwith brought out a book in which he used to enter the straw and barley he served out to the carriers, and with a lad carrying a candle end and the two damsels already mentioned.
Come here.
Oh, hello. He returned to where Don Quixote stood, and bade him kneel down. Then, reading from his account book, as if he were repeating some devout prayer, in the middle of his delivery, he raised his hand and gave him a sturdy blow on the neck, and then with his own sword a smart slap on the shoulder, all while muttering between his teeth as if he were saying his prayers. Having done this, he directed one of the ladies to gird on his sword, which she did with great self-possession and gravity, and not a little was required to prevent a burst of laughter at each stage of the ceremony. But what they had already seen of the novice knight's prowess kept their laughter within bounds. On girding him with the sword, the worthy lady said to him, "May God favor your worship, a very fortunate knight, and grant you success in battle." Don Quixote asked her name in order that he might from that time forward, oh God, I've lost my place. Might from that time forward know to whom he was beholden for the favor he had received, as he meant to confer upon her some portion of the honor he acquired by the might of his arm. She answered with great humility that she was called La Tolsa, and that she was the daughter of a cobbler of Toledo who lived in the stalls of Sancho Bienea. Sancho Bienea? Yeah, that sounds alright. And that wherever she might be, she would serve and esteem him as her lord. Don Quixote said in reply that she would do him a favor if thenceforward she assumed the Don and called herself Donna Tolosa. She promised she would, and then the other buckled on his spur. With her followed almost the same conversation as the Lady of the Sword. He asked her name, and she said it was La Molinera, and that she was the daughter of a respectable miller in Antequera. And her likewise, Don Quixote requested that she would adopt the Don and call herself Donna Molinera, making offers to her further services and favors. Having thus with hot haste and speed brought to the conclusion that these never till now seen ceremonies, Don Quixote was on thorns until he saw himself on horseback sallying forth in quest of adventures, and saddling Rocinante at once he mounted, and embracing his host, as he returned thanks for his kindness in knighting him, he addressed him in language so extraordinary that it is impossible to convey an idea of it or report it. The landlord, to get him out of the inn, replied with no less rhetoric, though with shorter words, and without calling upon him to pay the reckoning, let him go with a Godspeed. You know, I gotta say, I think this book is absolutely hilarious. Alright, let's get back to this real quick. Oh, perfect. I love this one. We will comfort the pink droplet. Who will comfort it? We'll just have Donkey do it. Thank goodness. How do I comfort a droplet? As odd as the order sounds, the sinner does their best to lift its spirits. The droplet seems to have perked up thanks to the sinner's efforts. I could be free thanks to you. It feels as though the droplet said something like that. Soon enough, the droplet disappeared from view, and an object that looked like a big glass container was left in the place. Tiled within a flask. Yes. They're stars. Are they stars? They could be stars. Back to the blue star we go. I love Tomorrow's Fortune. I think it's actually a pretty good ego gift, if only by virtue of that I get to choose more ego gifts. But it, much like the milepost, is, you know, better the earlier on you get it. Alright. We're just gonna have people. Well, that works. But let me think here. Yeah, I did finish up the Inca run. I think it was fun. I will be honest, it feels like the blobbing's getting a little out of hand in the EU4s. Oh, interesting. Unfortunately for it, I'm just going to, you know, indestructible and unseverable. I think that's what those words are going to mean. Punch that crab! Get him out of here! Someday.
다시 못 살게 구는 일은 없을 것이오.
Rusted muzzle? Yeah, I'll take the rusted muzzle. Because there's more damage.
제압을 준비합니다.
Hello! Oh boy, pointillists. Oh no. I do like pointillism, or at the very least the brush. Ah, yeah, Josh and me. Don't stroke. Don't stroke on Faust. That's not very cool. Alright, just burn them. Burn them all down. We have to save Faust. Perfect. Oh, let me think here. I think maybe I'll play Grime. I like Grime. I like it quite a lot. Please stop. Don't. Please don't the ish. You are terrible and I hate you. Can you please roll like not all heads? Like the second that he fails, we're gonna... Yeah, there we go. There we go. Great work, Sinclair. And just bludgeon that son of a horse to death. There we go. There we go. Perfect. Now pour it on. Good. Good, good, good. But yes, very excited for the murder on the Warp Express because I like the W Corp cleanup crew, and I really do hope that we get to see them again because I think they're cool. Somebody's very happy, aren't you?
순수했던 나날.
Very, very happy.
이만하면 순항이죠. 바람도 딱 좋네.
Alright, and I'm going to make some liberal use of this. Set that there. Perfect.
좋아.
Good. Good, 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 good. Good
피어나라.
boy, good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy, good boy, good, good, good. Good boy.
항복하겠는가?
Okay, just cast a lady. Perfect.
오, 아 이런.
And then we hit him with the old
놀라운 한 방이네요.
fluid sack.
시원하네. 술맛을 돋궈주는 좋은 공격이었어.
약점을 잘 찌른 것 같네.
탈출 개체
I'll just round this out real quick. Thank you.
결체였네.
Yeah, I'll take the voracious hammer. That's it. I'm getting me mallet.
불로 정화하고 깨끗한 세계를
Oh, you're such a sweet pig, aren't you? Oh no, he's got. Oh no, this one doesn't have any. Oh no. We'll just have you attack an untargeted piece. Oh golly, I should have equipped more things. Oh no. This one has teleport. This is a little scuffed. This one's a little scuffed. I will concede. I guess I could make use of this. I guess. Yeah, it looks like it'll be fine. Yeah, that'll be fine. Frick, just burn him. Just burn him down. We can't have him be alive. Excellent.
뜨거운 불꽃이 마음을 녹일 수
Well.
있다면 효과적이네요. 이 방식을 기억하는 게 좋겠어요.
Right, and then I'll be able to get Sanguine Desire Raja as well as the fairy beat Ish.
약점을 잘 찌른 것 같네요.
Ishmael.
그냥 쓱싹쓱싹 하면 끝이라고.
Okay, so that one does
편하게 해.
up there. More dominating, please. This. You go that way. You go that way. I'll go home.
피워보지.
Come on, donkey. Thank you. And then we're playing Pathfinder tonight. Pathfinder 2nd edition. Going through, I think it's the, I can't remember what the name of it was. Oh no, Faust. Faust, thank you. That was a little too close for comfort.
할수 있는 건 다 해보고 오라고. 저거 다 한 주먹거리도 안 되는 놈들이니까.
It should be fine. Oh no. Perfect. Free bonus bleed count. Don't you love it? I love it. Alright, I needed to see about maybe figuring out how to get an emulator to run. Because I'm sure that I could figure it out. Because I don't think that God Hand's going to be like too tricky to do.
저것들도 취한 것처럼 흐느적대는데?
그래서 저러는 건 아니겠지만요.
Okay, and everybody just pour the damage on. You'll be fine. Famous last words. My style is impetuous. It's overpowering a must.
순식간에 끝내죠.
No, it's fine. Defenses are impregnable. My style is impetuous. If it's too much, I'll grovel at your feet. I beg for mercy when I feel the heat. Choices, choices, choices. Oh, I know. Nah, I'm kidding. I'll take the milepost. Or maybe crumbs. Yeah. Take this. We take those, as kids say. And we'll take more starlight. Ishmael Foot? Yes. I'll go and fight Ahab. And we'll go over here and we'll see what we can find. Ooh, an ardent flower. How nice. Yeah, I'll take that. Hey, would you look at that? There's a pinpoint logic circuit. And there was nothing of note. Oh, right. Another quick digger of Don Quixote. Chapter 4 of what happened to our knight when he left the inn. Day was dawning when Don Quixote quitted the inn, so happy, so gay, so exhilarated at finding himself now dubbed a knight, that his joy was like to burst his horse girths. Horse girths? However, recalling the advice of his host as to the requisites he ought to carry with him, especially that referring to money and shirts, he determined to go home and provide himself with all, and also with a squire, for he reckoned upon securing a farm laborer, a neighbor of his, a poor man with a family, but very well qualified for the office of squire to a knight. And with this object, he turned his horse's head towards his village, and Rocinante, thus reminded of his old quarters, stepped out so briskly that he hardly seemed to tread the earth. He had not gone far when, out of a thicket on his right, there seemed to come feeble cries as of someone in distress, and the instant he heard them he exclaimed, "Thanks to be heaven for the favor it accords me, and that it soon offers me an opportunity of fulfilling the obligation I have undertaken, and gathering the fruit of my ambition. These cries, no doubt, come from some man or woman in want of help, and needing my aid and protection." And wheeling, he turned Rocinante on in the direction whence the cries seemed to proceed. He had gone but a few paces into the wood when he saw a mare tied to an oak, and tied to another, and, stripped from the waist upwards, a youth of about 15 years of age, from whom the cries came. Nor were they without cause, for a lusty farmer was flogging him with a belt, and following up every blow with scoldings and commands, repeating, "Your mouth shut and your eyes open," while the youth made answer, "I won't do it again, master mine. By God's passion, I won't do it again. And I'll take more care of the flock another time." Seeing what was going on, Don Quixote said in an angry voice, "Discourteous knight, it ill becomes you to assail one who cannot defend himself. Mount your steed and take your lance," for there was a lance leaning against the oak to which the mare was tied, "and I will make you know that you are behaving as a coward." The farmer, seeing before him this figure in full armor, brandishing a lance over his head, gave himself up for dead, and made answer meekly, "Sir knight, this youth I am chastising is my servant, employed by me to watch a flock of sheep that I have hard by, and he is so careless that I lose one every day, and when I punish him for his carelessness and his knavery, he says I do it out of niggardliness, to escape paying him the wages I owe him, and before God and on my soul he lies." lies before me, base clown, said Don Quixote. By the sun that shines on us, I have a mind to run you through with this lance. Pay him at once without another word, and if not, by the god that rules us, I will make an end of you and annihilate you on the spot. Release him, instantly. The farmer hung his head and without a word untied his servant, of whom Don Quixote asked how much his master owed him. He replied 9 months at 7 reals a month. Don Quixote added it up and found it came to 63 reals, and told the farmer to pay it down immediately if he did not want to die for it. The trembling clown replied that as he lived and by the oath he had sworn, though he had not sworn any, it was not so much, for there were to be taken into account and deducted 3 pairs of shoes he had given him, and a real for the 2 bloodlettings when he was sick. All that is very well, said Don Quixote, but let the shoes and the bloodletting stand as a set-off against the blows you have given him without any cause. For if he spoiled the leather of the shoes you paid for, you have damaged that of his body. And if the barber took blood from him when he was sick, you have drawn it when he was sound. And so, on that score, he owes you nothing. Difficulty is, Sir Knight, that I have no money here. Let Andres come home with me, and I will pay him well, real by real. I go with him, said the youth. Nay, God forbid. No, Signor, not for the world. For once alone with me, he would flay me like a Saint Bartholomew. He will do nothing of the kind, said Don Quixote. I have only to command, and he will obey me. And as he has sworn to me by the order of knighthood which he has received, I leave him free and guarantee the payment. Consider what you are saying, Signor, said the youth. This master of mine is not a knight, nor has he received any order of knighthood, for he is Juan Haldudo of Quintanar. That matters little, replied Don Quixote. There may be Haldudo's knights. Moreover, everyone is the son of his works. That is true, said Andres, but this master of mine, of what works is he the son, when he refuses me the wages of my sweat and labor? I do not refuse, brother Andres, said the farmer. Be good enough to come along with me, and I swear by all the orders of knighthood there are in the world to pay you as I have agreed, real by real, and perfumed. For the perfumery I excuse you, said Don Quixote. Give it to him in reals, and I shall be satisfied. And see that you do as you have sworn. If not, by the same oath I swear to come back and hunt you out and punish you. And I shall find you, though you should lie closer than a lizard. And if and if you desire to know who it is lays this command upon you, that you may be more firmly bound to obey it, know that I am the valorous Don Quixote of La Mancha, the undoer of wrongs and injustices, and so God be with you, and keep in mind what you have promised and sworn under those penalties that have already been declared to you. So saying, he gave Rocinante the spur, and was soon out of reach. The farmer followed him with his eyes, and when he saw that he had cleared the wood and was no longer in sight, he turned to his boy Andres and said, Come here, my son. I want to pay you what I owe you, as the undoer of wrongs had commanded me. My oath on it, said Andres, your worship will be well advised to obey the command of that good knight, may he live 1,000 years. For, as he is a valiant and just judge by Roque, if you do not pay me, he will come back and do as he said. My oath on it too, said the farmer, but as I have a strong affection for you, I want to add the debt in order to... great. In order to add to the payment, and seizing him by the arm, he tied him up again, and gave him such a flogging that he left him for dead. Now, Master Andres, said the farmer, call on the undoer of wrongs, you will find... He won't undo that, though I am not sure I have quite done with you, for I have a good mind to flay you alive, but at last he untied him and gave him leave to go look for his judge in order to put the sentence pronounced into execution. Andres went off rather down in the mouth, swearing he would go to look for the valiant Don Quixote of La Mancha and tell him exactly what happened, and that all would have to be repaid him sevenfold. But for all that he went off weeping, whilst his master stood laughing. Thus did the valiant Don Quixote right that wrong, and thoroughly satisfied with what had taken place, he considered he had made a very happy and noble beginning with his knighthood. He took the road towards his village in perfect self-content, saying in a low voice, "Well mayest thou this day call thyself fortunate above all on earth, O Dulcea del Toboso. Fairest of the fair, since it has fallen to thy lot to hold subject and submissive to thy will and pleasure a knight so renowned as is and will be Don Quixote of La Mancha, who, as all the world knows, yesterday received the order of knighthood, and hath today righted the greatest wrong and grievance that ever injustice conceived and cruelty perpetrated, who hath today plucked the rod from the hand of yonder ruthless oppressor, so wantonly lashing that tender child." All right. Come here. Come on, out of the way. He now came to a road branching in 4 directions, and immediately he was reminded of those crossroads where knights-errant used to stop to consider which road they should take. In imitation of them, he halted for a while, and after having deeply considered it, he gave Rocinante his head, submitting his own will to that of his hack, who followed out his first intention, which was to make straight for his own stable. He had gone about 2 miles, After he had gone about 2 miles, Don Quixote perceived a large party of people, who, as afterwards appeared, were some Toledo traders, on their way to buy silk at Murcia. Though there were 6 of them coming along under their sunshades, with 4 servants mounted, 3 muleteers on foot. Scarcely had Don Quixote descried them when the fancy possessed him that this must be some new adventure, and to help him imitate as far as he could those passages he had read of in his books, here seemed to come one made on purpose, which he resolved to attempt. So, with a lofty bearing and determination, he fixed himself firmly in his stirrups, got his lance ready, brought his buckler to his breast, and planting himself in the middle of the road, stood waiting the approach of these knights-errant, for such he now considered and held them to be. And when they had come near enough to see and hear, he explained with a haughty gesture, "All the world stand, unless all the world confess that in all the world there is no maiden fairer than the Empress of La Mancha, the peerless Dulcinea del Toboso." The traders halted at the sound of this language and the sight of the strange figure that uttered it, and from both figure and language at once guessed the craze of their owner. They wished, however, to learn quietly what was the object of this confession that was demanded of them, and one of them, who was rather fond of a joke and was very sharp-witted, said to him, "Sir Knight, we do not know who this good lady is that you speak of. Show her to us, for if she be of such beauty as you suggest, with all our hearts and without any pressure we will confess the truth that is on your part required of us." If I were to show her to you, replied Don Quixote, "what merit would you have in confessing a truth so manifest? The essential point is that without seeing her you must believe, confess, affirm, swear, and defend it. Else ye have to do with me in battle, ill-conditioned, arrogant rabble that ye are, and come ye on, one by one, as the order of knighthood requires, or altogether as is the custom and vile usage of your breed. Oh! Here do I bide and await you, relying on the justice of the cause I maintain." "Sir Knight," replied the trader, "I entreat your worship in the name of this present company of princes, and that to save us from charging our consciences with the confession of a thing we have never seen or heard of, and one moreover so much to the prejudice of the empresses and queens of Alacaria and Estremadura, your worship will be pleased to show us some portrait of this lady, though it be no bigger than a grain of wheat. And, for by the thread one gets at the ball, and in this way we shall be satisfied and easy, and you will be content and pleased. Nay, I believe we are already so far agreed that that, even though her portrait should show her blind of one eye, and distilling vermilion and sulphur from the other, we would nevertheless, to gratify your worship, say all in her favor that you desire." "She distills nothing of that kind, vile rabble," said Don Quixote, burning with rage. Nothing of the kind, I say. Only ambergris and civet in cotton. Nor is she one-eyed or humped-backed, but straighter than a Guadarrama spindle. But ye must pay for the blasphemy ye have uttered against beauty like that of my lady. And so saying, he charged with leveled lance against the one who had spoken, with such fury and fierceness that, if luck had not contrived that Rocinante should stumble midway and come down, it would have gone hard with the rash trader. Down went Rocinante, and over went his master, rolling on the ground for some distance, and when he tried to rise he was unable. So encumbered was he with lance, buckles, spur, helmet, and the weight of his old armor. And all the while he was struggling to get up, he kept saying, "Fly not, cowards and caitiffs, stay, for not by my fault, but my horses am I stretched here." One of the muleteers in attendance, who could not have had much good nature in him, hearing the poor prostrate man blustering in the style, was unable to refrain from giving him an answer on his ribs, and coming up to him, he seized his lance, and having broken it into pieces, was one of them he began so to Belabor our Don Quixote, notwithstanding, and in spite of his armor, he milled him like a measure of wheat. His masters called out not to lay on so hard, and to leave him alone. But the muleteer's blood was up, and he did not care to drop the game until he had vented the rest of his wrath, and gathering up the remaining fragments of the lance, he finished with a discharge upon the unhappy victim, who all thought the storm of sticks that rained on him never ceased, threatening heaven and earth and the brigands, for such they seemed to him. At last the muleteer was tired, and the traders continued their journey, taking with them matter for talk about the poor fellow who had been cudgeled. He, when he found himself alone, made another effort to rise, but if he was unable, then when whole and sound, how was he to rise after having been thrashed and well nigh knocked to pieces? And yet he esteemed himself fortunate, as it seemed to him this was a regular knight-errant's mishap, and entirely he considered the fault of his horse. However, battered in body as he was, to rise was beyond his power. Alright, let's see here. We'll just head this way. Oh, interesting. We'll push the hand away. I would like a charge thingy, I guess. I have only the utmost faith in Donkey. Excellent work, Donkey. So even the hand that requests endless stream of handshakes must learn to sometimes let it flow past it. Because we all must one day return with nothingness in our palms. Oh! Very interesting. Oh no. Ha! Oops. Oopsie daisies, but don't worry, I've never seen that one before, and now you won't have either. That's what I'm going to tell myself in the dead of night. And we'll get this show on the road. We'll just keep up the pressure. Beat these whales. Got a demon, what am I? Time for me to choose my path. Power of my God hand. No evil doer will get past. Do. Alright, perfect. Now get rid of the rest of them. Somebody's at very low sanity. Was that old Sinclair? That might have been. Must have been. Damn it. Don't do that. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that was Sinclair. I think. I hope. But I don't know. And onward we go.
벌써 화끈하네.
Oh, whale!
파이팅이다.
Alright, let me have a think thonk here. Yeah, we'll just go. Yeah, it should work.
순식간에 끝내죠.
This ought to work out fine. Famous last words. Batter up.
시원하네. 아, 술맛을 돋궈주는 좋은 공격이었어.
약점을 잘 찌른 것 같네요.
Oh, wow.
놀라운
I see that
영광이네요. 항복하겠는가? 적을 완벽히 파악하고 있으신 거군요.
2, 3. Perfect.
참,
And we should still be pouring the damage on. Oh no. Okay. Go. Good. Excellent. Excellent indeed.
대체가 약화되는 것 같습니다.
There's not a lot of burn yet. Don't worry though, we'll get there. And by that I mean he's gonna die this round because he has no recourse.
이 방식을 기억하는 게
다음만
좋겠어요.
생각해. 공격이 더 매서워지거든.
Perfect.
제가 묻었네요.
이런 건 몽둥이가 약이지. 두드려 패.
Bye bye. I do like this method of reusing the set pieces. I think it's a very nice touch.
아, 저런 건 그냥 쓱
Oh, and let's see here.
편하게 해.
Yeah, this should be alright, since they apparently a few of them already have a stagger threshold that close to the Carmilla, or the Carmilla, excuse me. The fools, the wretches, the worms.
대체가
Please.
약화되는 것 같습니다. 저 부표처럼
Please, no.
제1 사냥감이겠네요.
Oh, please, have mercy.
이번에 끝낸다.
Oh. Great. Great. Oh, great. Good work, Roger. I'm filled with an incomparable amount of bile. At least that thing's going to burn. Damn it. Ow.
한눈에 봤을 때는 불리해 보이긴 하지만
Alright, we're just gonna go for the Sangre de Sancho then, I suppose. Excellent work.
달려라, 루시안.
Let Sancho flow! He's my favorite. Oh, and we got tunes coming in.
효과적이네요. 이 방식을 기억하는 게 좋겠어요.
흐드러졌고
I'm a little curious when we're gonna get like the next ego adjacent ID, like Phil Clare, or I guess Don Clare.
이럴 때는 이런 식의 공격으로 돌리는군요.
What a good question.
기도해야지.
Yeah, well,
그렇게 끄적이는 거야, 루카? 괜찮아.
Hmm.
시원하네. 아, 술
I don't know.
돋궈주는 좋은
굵게 썩으라.
공격이었어.
약점을
But
잘
either way.
찌른 것 같네요.
we'll just push on and hopefully chew through the rest of these before they drain too much of our sanity. Please, thank you. Come on. There we go.
보냈고.
Perfect. There.
어? 방금 좀 똑똑했다.
Good.
싸울 때도 분해 파로 척을 다 밀어버리는 놈이 있었지.
Woo. We'll take the talisman bundle because I really don't need anything else.
제압을 준비합니다.
뭐야? 그래. 파이팅이다.
Oh, that's not good. I tell you what, let's just do a quick blind obsession so that we might yet just overwhelm them. That'll learn you for rolling, having big high coins.
파도가 모든 것을 쳐부수고
Yeah, that works.
이런 건 몽둥이가 약이지.
이젠 안 아플 거야. 참
Perfect.
어떻게 끝이 보이네.
Always love being able to round these out in a good.
이젠 안 아플
유쾌한 물티였네.
One more. There we go.
다시 못 살게 구는 일은 없을 것이요.
Oh, what a delightful series of choices. I'll take the extra starlight. It seems like that'll help out the most. Then we'll go over here and we'll see what's inside. Oh, yeah, I love this guy. Yeah, we're gonna tell him the truth. Yeah, goodbye. Thank you. Not really sure how that's gonna help me right now, but
불로 정화.
it works.
깨끗한 세계를 세우라.
가서 할 수 있는 건 다 해보고
Fun.
저보다 한 주먹거리도 안 되는.
Voyage, your mermaid setting sail. At last, full speed. I think a karaoke thing would be fun.
이럴 때는 이런 식의 공격으로 대응하는
Oh
거예요.
no.
기억해둬야지.
Okay, okay. Great. Great work, fish.
기세라니까.
Excellent work. On go. Guys. Please, they take forever to do their animations too. I beg of you.
이런 동료들 상태에 신경 좀 써줘야
Alright,
할
well,
것 같아.
you know what? In that case, let's just go for one of these bad boys. We'll just bludgeon, McStab those things to death. Let's have you block. Go that way. You go that way. I'll go home.
그래도 언제나 추월할 수는
Wonderful.
효과적이네요. 이 방식을 기억하는 게 좋겠어요.
Damn it. Don't hurt my poor Sinclair. He doesn't deserve it.
그래, 결국 마지막까지 서 있는 놈이
Alright,
이기는
and we're gonna
거니까.
give this quick wig whack.
아픈 거 생각하지 말고 저 새끼 죽은 다음만 생각.
Yeah, I think Rhyme would be a fun thing to play.
다 죽어라.
But I don't know. I'll have to think about it.
아무튼 놀라운 한 방이네요.
Maybe a good Metroidvania.
보냈고
Whack. Wiggity whack, Jack. Mm-hmm. I'm going down the road feeling bad. I'm going down the road feeling bad. I'm going down the road feeling bad. Oh no, I ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going where the chill winds don't blow. I'm going where the chill winds don't blow. I'm going where them chill winds don't blow. Oh Lord, I ain't gonna be treated this way.
벌써
Is this gonna be? Question is this gonna be the Pequod trio? It's probably gonna be the Pequod trio. It was. I was right. I was right the whole time. All right, just grill them.
밑값 파도
Just get rid of all of them, all at the same time. Unleash everything. Okay, and you'll do, and then you'll, I don't know, we'll just ignore that for now. And we are just gonna blind obsession. Alright, everyone's clashing with everything else. Perfect, except for you. We'll just have you, yeah, we'll just have you clash with. Okay, and then you go that way. Okay, never. Yeah, sure, that's fine. Actually, maybe we'll have you go that way, and then... Really don't like it when self-destructive purge shows up as only favored. More than a little concerning. Okay, perfect. Alright, let's just hammer this home. Get him out of here. Gonna have to peel that leg off of Grandma. Oh no. No!
약점을 잘 찌른 것 같네요.
우산이 새진 않나 모르겠어.
God, it's like that one bit from
두드려 패.
there was that one like Toho video I had seen where it's the man doing the side steps through the rain.
시간의 태어만에
Or was that an anime?
있을까요?
I can't remember. I'll have to look at it later. Oh no. Close enough. Please. Not my boy. Not my poor Sinclair.
그 오물을 떼어내주지.
Excellent work.
효과적이네요. 이 방식을 기억하는 게 좋겠어요.
Alright, but at least old Ahab's not gonna be able to dodge this.
조명이 전멸하는 저곳
Full speed ahead.
모든 것을 쳐부술 거다.
Goodbye.
놀라운 명령이네요.
Excellent work.
적을 완벽히 파악하고 있으신 거군요.
And then we can get Starbuck, and then let's see here, that's me.
부터 뭉개.
All right, and then we'll just have you declare duel on you, and then we're just gonna have to pour it on. Gonna have to pour it on for Queequeg. And also probably pour it onto. Okay, and then we'll just have you clash with you, and then put in, I don't know, this. Maybe we could just go for fourth match flame. Yeah, that ought to work. Famous last words.
오호, 이럴 때는 이런 식의 공격.
Oh, please!
나의 손으로 잘라낼 수 있다면
Don't restore my sanity!
기세라니까.
제일 적합한 선택이었을까요? 이게
레이, 큰 그림을 그리기 위해서는 다소
Perfect.
필요할 때도 있다니까.
색색이 화물하고 아예 기억 못하게 하려는 길이구려.
Ah!
가슴 가장 깊은 곳까지 닿히도록.
방금 좀 똑똑했다. 옛날에 조직에서 싸울 때
Alright, that should be enough to burn him.
밀어버리는 놈이 있었지.
뜨거운 불꽃이 마음을 녹일 수 있다면.
Oh!
상당히 즐거워 보이는데요.
Oh no!
뭔가 기운을 내게 하는 걸 먹었을지도 몰라요.
Oh, that's not good. Well, we'll see if we can beat this out. That's not good. Oh, that's not good at all. That'll do fine. You'll hammer it onto Queequeg, and then we're just gonna... We're gonna hope that Ragia survives. Maybe. Ah, Jesus. Sangre de Sancho. Pop these and then. Oh no. Oh no, indeed. Alright, just gonna hope that this all works out. Oh, I don't like that Quake soaks up the AoE.
파도가 모든 것을 쳐부술 거다.
Absolutely disgusting.
아니, 그 말을 아끼지 뭐. 달려라 루신한테. 정의는 승리한다.
Stab, stab, stab. Okay, good. Alright, and hopefully this will be able to keep Raja up. And maybe break Queequeg's shield. I can't remember if Queequeg gets stunned. Really hope that this doesn't kill Raja. If it does, I'm gonna be a sad lad.
효과는 미비하지만 모든 행동이 의의를 수는 없는 거니까요.
눈이
Excellent work, Raja.
속에서 삼키세요.
Alright. Unopposed. Who's she dodging? Actually, we'll just get rid of Starbuck and then just pour it. Actually, yeah, no, I should pour it onto Queequeg. Let's just get Queequeg out of here. At least as much as we can. Because I think... Oh, yeah. Yeah, that should be good. Stab, stab, stab. And give your Queequeg a good hit.
사냥이
I don't know.
이 흐름대로 사냥을 끝내러 가보죠.
Okay, then we'll just push this here, put that there, this, that, and then also this, and we're just gonna hope that this will be enough. Yeah, it should be fine. Famous last words.
거의 칼로 물베기 아니야? 아니 베어지지 않는 정도는 아니긴 한데.
Might need to replace Enclair before too long.
피어나라.
One, two.
야, 저 새끼 좀 봐.
Excellent.
이상한 짓
Alright.
하고 하잖아.
So
미쳤지?
now we're just gonna have you two go deal with. And you get in there, because I don't think you're gonna actually lose. I hope.
순식간에 끝내죠.
1, 2, 3. Okay. Excellent work, Sinclair. That was a little too close for comfort, though. Make no mistake. That was just a little scary. But not a grand amount.
지면이 흔들거려. 마치
Ah, great.
직전에 힘이 뭉치는 것처럼.
Well, we're just gonna hope that that's not enough to bring down old Ish. Alright, everyone just pour it on. Queequeg must fall. Two, three. Okay, yeah, that'll be enough. And hopefully this will patch up Ish so that she survives. Please. Okay. So yeah, she's
관리자님.
yeah, it looks like Ishmael's gonna survive, so we'll just pour it on.
뭐지?
One toe. Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
가서 할 수 있는 건 다 해보고 오라고. 저보다 한 주먹거리도 안 되는 놈들이니까.
Okay. And let's see what we got. Yep. Okay. 3, 4.
피어나라.
보냈고.
Okay. Looks like that'll be just fine. And hello. Well, I mean, I could at least take it. I don't think it's really gonna do much for me, but it's cool to have. And maybe this lamp. I love fluorescent lamp. Random tier 3 ego gift. Don't mind if I do. Oh, the rusty cutting knife. My favorite. Alright. Let's see here. Thick rumbling hum. Bloodstained gossipium. Sure, I'll take it. Why not? I don't think I ever had taken Bloodsoak Gossipium before. Yeah, I'll accept the surgery. Who will take the surgery? I know. Potential man. If he flips one coin, then he's done. Well, bet it all on Faust. And Faust is the bestest.
보조업무로 수행하기에 나쁘지 않네요.
Yeah, we'll take the painkiller. Who knows? Maybe it'll come in handy when we sell it.
깨끗한 세계를 세우라.
For money. Oh, hello.
저런 건 그냥 쓱싹쓱싹 하면 끝이라고. 편하게 해.
Alright, let's see here.
일 아니라고 그렇게 말할 수
Yeah, this ought to work.
없어요.
Actually, it might be high time to just pour on the ego. We'll go with Rosette Desire and... Oh, I don't like seeing struggling with... Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Yeah, it should be fine. And we'll just put the counter on.
순식간에 끝내죠.
In win rate, we trust. Ah. I might have poured out a little too much for the coin power go up.
나만의 항해 방식.
Oh no. I'm sure we'll be fine. Oh. We're gonna need another little sip. I'm a thirsty lad. And I don't think I've hit heads on Sun Shower like once.
떼어내주지.
달려라 루신한테. 정의는 승리한다.
Alright. also, hello again. Welcome. I take it that your
모든 행동이
Olympus journey is progressing well enough. Oh no.
그 다음 말은 속에서 삼키세요.
저 부표처럼 흔들리는
What are you
놈이
doing?
제1
Don't.
사냥감이겠네요.
No, you don't get to have my drink. Get out of my way. Oh, I know.
피워보지. 흐드러졌다.
탈출 배치가 전개되었습니다. 참, 이런 상황인데도 어떻게 끝이 보이네요. 조금만 더 해보죠.
Excellent.
괜히 저항하지 말고 받아들여. 그게 덜 아플걸?
I get why they're on this floor. Because they specialize in binding.
어떻게 끝이
불길
보이네요.
속으로
It all makes sense.
조금만 더 해보죠.
이젠 안 아플 거야.
Because they got the binding briefcase,
이젠 안 아플 거야.
I think. Yes. I guess we can take the chance. Ah, hey! How are you? Yes. Ah, perfect. Yes, the apple. Now, of course, the question is... Yeah, that's alright. Come here. Oh, I know. Now it's time to snitch on this apple. You for today? I don't think so. I don't have as much time as I'd like. I'm basically gonna wrap up this dungeon and then I gotta go scurry off. But I'm probably gonna do some maybe tomorrow after I get done with, I think it was Fight Night. Yeah, I think that's probably gonna be the plan. And hopefully we'll be able to wrap up Buntika. Because at this point, it shouldn't be too hard to tunnel into India to get the gems. Yep. Yes. You're not special. Give me the illusory hunt. Just what I wanted. Oh no, not another fight.
제가 앞에 서죠.
Please, I have no envy. Oh god, it's good.
맞서보죠. 우리들에게 이깟 파도
Hmm.
별것도 아니잖아요.
Okay, we should be fine. Let me. Oh no. Oh no, no. Oh no. No, no, no. Just spam out Rhyme Shanks and maybe, yeah, it should be fine. We'll just have you go on defense, and we're gonna hope that Ish manages to pull it out.
순식간에 끝내죠.
Oh! Oh! Very high, these offense levels.
루신한테 정의는 승리한다.
No, I think we're in a very good spot. We've got we've got an alright amount of ego gifts. As long as we can pour on the burn, I think we'll be able to pull through with. I'm gonna go with no casualties, but my gut is telling me it's gonna be minimal casualties.
그래도 언제나 추월할 수는 없으니까.
Hey, but we got them staggered. So that's good. All right. Actually, I think we'll pull through just fine.
엉뚱이가 약이지.
Got some lucky coin flips.
노력해.
당신에겐 제가
Put
어떻게
that over there.
시간의 태엽 안에 그 답이 있을까요?
What are you doing? Butter.
Oh, I know.
시원하네. 아, 술 맛을 돋궈주는 좋은 공격이었어.
약점을 잘 찌는
All right.
겁니다.
No. All right. Oh, here's hoping that this all works out. So we're gonna counter, and then counter, and then dodge, and also dodge because I don't wanna attack Jun directly because it's not good for my long-term longevity.
키워보지.
그 오물을
Except that guy just exploded.
효과적이네요. 이 방식을 기억하는 게 좋겠어요.
Oh,
그래.
oh, works for me.
서 있는 놈이 이기는 거라니까. 잘 들어. 아픈 거 생각하지 말고 저 새끼 죽은 다음만 생각해. 그 공격이 더
Oh, I
무서워질 거야.
know.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
All right, we're just not gonna take the Cassipium because that's not gonna be a good one to have. Let's see here. We'll take the ego gift. Perfect, and we'll go down this way. Ah, perfect. Yes, I am more than willing to hear your stories, and by that I mean take this picture off the wall and run. Run away! Oh no. We'll just take this one.
제압을 준비합니다. 자, 왔어요. 우리들에게 이깟 파도
Yeah, this should be fine. We'll just pop Sun Shower and muscle past them, hopefully.
저 시시게.
Oh no. Oh no. Bingo! Finally, I managed to roll heads on that.
우산이 세진 않아.
I remember back when Sun Shower was just a he-ego rather than a wow. Or a wow.
효과는 미비하지만 모든 행동이
I don't know how you pronounce the W-A-W.
누님, 그 다음 말은 속에서 삼키세요.
Oh, that's not good. We'll just go with this. And then probably another one of these. And we'll just have you two go on the defensive. And we're just gonna hope that nobody hurts Ish.
Hi!
그래도 언제나 추워할 수는 없으니까.
But I will say though is that Don Quixote is a very fun read. I sincerely recommend it.
스며들 듯한 비. 우산이 세진 않나 모르겠어.
Yeah, that's quite a nice amount of damage. That's a very healthy amount of hurt to pour on.
아, 술 맛을 돋궈주는 좋은 공격이었어.
약점을 잘 찌른 것 같네요.
And that should round out this fight. And then I think we've just got the one boss to go.
괜찮아. 이젠 안 아플 거야.
이런
Yeah, that sounds about
엉뚱이가
right.
약이지. 그대로 두드려 패.
It's like I haven't seen the what is it called? And oh, first we're also gonna sell gifts. We're gonna offload this and this and this and this. And the smoking gunpowder. And this tomorrow's fortune. And this rusty nail. And then I don't think there's anything else that I want to sell. I'll keep the sheep, because I think the sheep is cute. We will reroll once and take this disc fragment. How nice. And then we will leave. And then we will go over here. And we will fuse gifts. Question is, what to fuse? I know, let's see if we can fish out more burn. Oh, we'll go with you and you and you. And we're gonna hope that this spits out what I want. Perfect. Yes. I've been told that this one is a little buggy and makes things explode rather spectacularly. And I can upgrade it. Why, thank you. You shouldn't have. And then we can also just upgrade the Gossipium. Yeah, might as well. Oh boy, who's on the list now?
순수했던 나날로
I'm more than a little curious.
자,
Perfect.
맞서보죠.
And now we're just going to
복잡하도
have you go that way.
별것도 아니잖아요.
Yeah, and Claire should be fine, probably. Famous last words. Gossipium. Oh, that's not gonna beat that out at all. Okay, and we're just gonna block. And we'll have you go that way. Yeah, we should be fine. Whoops. Whoopsies.
피워보지.
Okay. Alright. Two.
모든 걸 거둬들일 순 없었어.
이런 건 몽둥이가 약이지. 꼭 두드려 패.
자, 출발해 볼까요?
Alright. And now we that way.
싸우면 안 되나?
계약대로 하자고요, 언니.
Branch of knowledge, push this over here, and then we're just gonna supposed to be targeted by this? Okay, and then Isang's supposed to be there, and then we'll just keep pouring it on our clippity clop, tap away.
순식간에 끝내죠.
나의 손으로 잘라낼 수 있다면
Alright, that's not terrible.
효과적이네요. 이 방식을 기억하는 게 좋겠어요.
시시게.
놀라운 명령이네요.
Oh,
적을 완벽히 파악하고 있으신 거군요.
yeah, but
후, 저것들도 취한 것처럼 흐느적대는데?
그래서 저런
yeah, we'll just pour the blind obsession on. Please, please get the problem away from me. Alright, this should work. Famous last words.
총원, 조명이 전멸하는 저곳으로 파도가 모든 것을 쳐부술 거다.
I will say though is that I do think that's the word. I'm eager to see where the next the continuation of the misadventures of Don Quixote leads. Because I think it's been a very, very refreshing read thus far.
방금 좀 똑똑했다.
Okay, perfect.
옛날에 조직에서
And let's see here.
눈에 바로 적을 다 밀어버리는 놈이 있었지.
Strands of pink ribbons. Well, then I'll tell you what. Let's just pour this on and hope we can break his body before he hurts us much more. Yeah, yeah, we might be. Might be pushing it. Maybe. Come here. Come back.
이럴 때는 이런 식의 공격으로 대응하는군요.
Yeah, no, we're gonna get. He's gonna punch us. Oh, goodbye, Faust. Maybe not. Nope, never mind. That's that. Phew.
깔끔하게 해결했네요. 가는
Excellent
길에
work.
보실래요?
Not a terribly high amount of damage, but what can one do? As you can see, the MVP of the evening. Yeah, works for me. Alright, and we will collect all of our delicious starlight. And that. And this. Thank goodness. And now, oh, right, probably collect these before I forget. Alright. Yep, that's gonna be all of that. Put that over there. Yeah, pretty good. Oh, right, just in case if there's any fresh faces. As you can see here, here is my friend code. You may feel free. These are my all of my what's the word, support units that are available, and unlike this run, they actually all have proper egos equipped. But don't worry, I'll probably. That's a good question, actually. I guess I'll probably replace Ishmael for the new Otis whenever she finally comes out, which I hope will be next week. I'm really hoping. I'm very eager, McBeaver. And then I should also have. Yeah, I'll have plenty of pulls for Walpurgisnacht whenever that comes around, because that's at least 50, almost 100. Yeah, I think we'll be good. And then we'll also be able to store more of the thingamahoozits. Though my boxes are running a little low now that I'm looking at them. But I'll be able to at least get Ish, Sinclair, and Roger. You know what? Come to think of it. Actually, no, I shouldn't. Either way, I'm going to skedaddle. Thank you all again very much for tuning in. And next week, or rather, I think I'll be. What am I doing tomorrow? Let me double check my schedule. Yeah, looks like we've got fight night at noon o'clock, followed by 9 Souls on Saturday. So again, thank you all very much. I do sincerely appreciate it. And toodaloo, have a nice day. But